Well, hello! Week 2 has commenced of the van build 2.0. If you missed the last episode where we did the installation and everything, check it out right here. But back to this week. So it's a beautiful morning in May, and we got a sunny day ahead of us before all hell breaks loose tomorrow with rain. So might have some down days this week. But anyways, we've just been buying some wood, wood shopping. We've been buying some wood, and that's going up this week, so that's super exciting. Got a big load of projects that's going to make this look a little more like a place you want to actually live in. Yeah, should we just get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. This is the layout, sort of, and now we're building the divider.
So I am constructing the lower part of the divider between the driver's seat and the living compartment. And it's a little tricky to figure out, and nothing in a car is perfectly straight or a right angle or anything. So you just kind of have to build as you go, and I guess when we get to the very last part, we're just gonna have to figure out a way to make it look neat and pretty. But this is fun. Finally working with wood, which I prefer much over what we've been doing so far. Right, so here we got the bottom part of the divider. Partition. I read that it's actually called, at least in the UK, they love their camper van conversions. It's gonna be something like this, and the reason I'm doing it in two parts like this is because since the seats go quite far back here, if we would do a straight divider all the way up, we would lose a little bit of valuable storage space at the bottom. So I'm gonna put this as close to the wall as possible here, and then it's gonna come out about 5 centimeters here, and then keep going all the way up to here, which gives us, a little extra space back here. Every inch counts, as they say in camper van conversions. Okay, so the lower part of the divider is in place. I screw that to the floor, and now the tricky part is to fit this upper part of the wall so it's just flush against the passenger seat. And then you got the metal here that I put the support into, and that's on an angle, so everything's kind of like weird. So we're trying to figure out how to best get this part flat and level with this part for the rest of the board to be attached. So I made these spacers, and I am gonna glue and screw those to this upper support beam, and then hopefully it will be perfect. First spacer in place. And obviously, to further complicate things, this support here is bent a little bit, so I had to make these outer spacers a little thinner or smaller than the middle one. But I measured a couple of times, so hopefully it turns out even. We're gonna pre-drill holes here so we don't crack all the wood. Hey. Yeah. So yeah, we got these little spacers in place. Boom, boom, and boom. Now that we put the support beam up here, it's pretty much perfect. That's as level as it's gonna get up in this front part of the car. And then we're gonna cover this all up with a board and make a window right here. And yeah, let's go have some coffee.
Coffee time.
What's going on here?
Preparing for the ceiling.
Mmm.
We're gonna put these up. They are gonna be dark brown. But before we can paint it, we need to like prevent the sap from getting out. So we use something we call the kvistlack in Swedish. It's basically like shellac to prevent the sap from getting out from the ice of the branches.
Right, so the sap will, if you don't use this treatment, the sap will come out of them over time, and that makes the ceiling sticky and nasty.
Yellow and ugly.
Right.
We didn't do this the last time, so doing things right this time.
So slightly more messy in here today because yesterday it was raining a ton, so we couldn't really get any work done outside the van. We've been cutting wood to fit the divider, and hopefully soon we're going to start building the batten structure for fitting the interior wood paneling. But we couldn't do anything yesterday because of the rain, so we've been working inside the van. So as you can see here, we've been starting to prepare for our 12-volt electric wiring. Basically, it's nice to get this done before you put any wood in, because obviously you want to hide all these cables and you want to know where everything goes. So that's what we've been trying to figure out by starting from where we want our battery bank to be, which is back here. And then, since you saw in the first episode, we pulled some wiring across the floor to the left side of the van, right side of the van. And from here we got a bunch of small appliances like LED lights, some USB sockets, stuff like that. And on this side, most of the heavy electrics will be like the power inverter and the DC-DC charger, the MCA charger, more on that later. But so we've been pulling some of these flexi cables through the beams of the car, and then through those we've been pulling all the wiring, and then noted what everything is for, so we don't forget that later. Okay, we're starting to prepare for next episode, which will be all about electricity and the wiring. We got a lot of the cables in place already, the ceiling lights, and loads of the cables that go to the battery bank that we will show you in the next episode. So, like we talked about in last episode, we're gonna charge that battery bank with 3 different ways of charging. We're gonna get the mains power hook up here for 230 volts, and we got the solar panel cables here for charging solar, which will be our main source of energy. But then sometimes if it's cloudy and we're not hooked up to the mains, we gotta be able to charge it while driving. And to do that in modern vehicles, like this is a 2016 model Peugeot Boxer that has a smart generator. Basically, the smart generator gives you kind of an alternate current while driving, because it saves some of the load on the generator when you're driving long distances, etc. So you can't use the way we did it before, that when we had a VSR, which is a voltage sensing relay, to charge our old battery bank. That would basically overheat the generator and it could kill it, especially since we got lithium batteries in this van. So for that, we have a Dometic DCC 1212 40 amp DC-DC converter or charger. So this one we're going to install back here. It's going to take the current from our alternator and convert that into a clean, steady source of energy for our lithium batteries. It has some smart features, like if you're only driving a short distance, it'll give the batteries like a quick boost, so they'll almost top up even if you're only driving for like, say, half an hour. If you go longer distances, it'll give you a really smooth top up, so it'll actually, once it senses that your battery bank back here is full, it won't overcharge them. It'll keep it at a steady level after that. Yeah, so if you have a smart generator, modern vehicle like a Euro 5 or Euro 6, you most likely need one of these, otherwise you'll kill your battery bank. And thick copper wire is actually expensive as hell. Here's a quick tip. get the jump cables in the proper dimensions. They come in loads of different dimensions, but they're actually way cheaper. And these are 3 meters. And we're gonna cut those down so they fit perfectly between the car battery and our lithium batteries back here. Time to put this in place and prepare for the full electricity episode next time. Alright, so got the thick cables. So these are actually like even less than half price from just buying copper wire in bulk. So I'll save you a lot of budget for the project. And I think 3 meters of this 10 mil cable is going to be just enough to pull them through to the battery.
Cut it, ja. Vill du ha en tjockare? Döda mig inte nu.
Maybe I should just use like a
proper tool.
Cutter tool here. We can go through that. Yep, easy. A little bit. So I'll just do the red one first. Plus one. We're gonna hide these in the chassis. We put some flexi cable in here through the beam all the way. Did we mark this one up at all? DC from starter battery back to the lithium batteries. So it turns out the 3 meter jump cable that we're gonna use was just too short to get all the way into the, well, it's about,
It looks like a meter too short.
yeah, it's like 40 or 50, yeah, it's like a meter too short to get to the starter battery, which means we're gonna have to splice it together with another set of jump cables. We're just gonna sacrifice the ones from our car and then just get new ones at a later date. Turns out if you're putting your battery bank all the way back in the back of your van, you need more than 3 meters for a car like this. Good to know.
Good to know.
Alright, so we're done with the 12 volt wiring, pretty much everywhere in the car. And we're about to start cutting some wood. Super psyched. Get to it. Mounting the wooden battens for the roof or ceiling. We're choosing to put the battens next to the metal beams in the car. First of all, you don't want the metal screws to be exposed to the air inside of the car, because that'll, even though it's a really small area, it'll still get cold and there will be condensation on your screws. So instead of putting the battens on the beams and then losing another 10 millimeters, we're putting them next to it. It's a little tricky. We've pre-drilled holes and now we're just carefully mounting these into those holes. Just like so.
Bit more.
I just don't want to, no, I don't want to crack the, yeah, carefully so it doesn't crack. And that way we'll then later mount the ceiling panels snugly against the beams with the screws going into the battens. Even more insulation.
The never-ending job. So we put up the structure for the ceiling and found out that we have some more room here and we had extra Armaflex, so why not put it up? The heat is going upwards and disappearing, so it's good to have extra in the roof, I think, or in the ceiling.
Are you not happy with the knot sealer?
Super unhappy. So the guy at the store told us that we needed to seal the knot, and we bought the paint. It's not paint. It's like oil.
Mm-hmm.
And when we tried out, this happened. this was the color from the beginning. Super ugly. Ugh. And then we got another type of paint just to try it out. And you can almost see like the shellac, it's uneven. Like this is the knot sealing thing. Can you see?
Yes.
Looks like shit.
Yeah, you get these little shiny clouds in the paint. So that's not really what we wanted.
So we either have to buy like new wood for the ceiling. We're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna sand the knot seal away.
And start over.
And start over.
You live, you learn.
You live and you learn.
Do over.
Do over.
Okay. How are you feeling, my lady?
I did, I think, 14 out of 18
Of the planks for the roof?
planks for the ceiling.
Yeah. Correcting your own mistakes?
Don't do that, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes per plank.
Yeah.
Sanding it down. Full day of extra work. Okay, shower.
Beer.
Oh,
Getting there?
9 hours later. Finally done with sanding these down.
Nice.
Nice. And now I'm just cleaning them up a bit, and then it's time for the stain. Boom bam.
We can get back on track.
Back on track. Oh,
All right.
finally.
Is this your favorite part?
Finally. Love painting.
Why do all girls love painting so much?
Oh, generalized. I don't know, it's just nice. You can see the transformation. I don't know why. It's nice. Especially after all the pre-work.
So, talk about the color scheme we got going for this van.
This is obviously Mediterranean brown. And we're gonna do that in the ceiling. And then we're gonna have white walls, I think. And then we're not sure. Yeah. We're gonna add another color or two. Maybe orange, maybe blue, maybe green. Maybe not all of them. But
Red, green, and yellow.
black and yellow, black and yellow.
Meanwhile, over in the van,
Yeah, what are you doing?
well,
In your puffy.
it just got finally got warm again. It was super cold this morning. Yeah, we put the cab divider in temporarily, at least. It's just sitting with a couple screws now, but it's finally fitted and it looks pretty good. We're gonna cut out a nice big hole here for like a window, and then we're gonna cover the side over in the driver's cab with some fabric. And yeah, that's today's project. All right, so here's the cab divider wall that I just took back down, and I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but we drew out the driver's seat silhouette here, and then decided where we want the window to be, so you can look back into the van.
There's another reason too.
Yeah, because in Sweden, at least, if you want to register your box van as a camper van or husbil, then the rules state that you have to be able to climb into the driver's seat from the living area.
Walk.
Or walk. It says walk, but depending on where you get it registered, some people let it slide, and we're just gonna hope that this window will be enough for our skinny bodies to go through. Drum roll. Looks about right,
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe a bit more to the left in the bottom.
The window?
No, the window. Window is good.
Move the hole.
Move the
Please.
hole, please.
Like that?
Yeah.
That better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can get through there. Come look at how perfect this was. So we try to save space here and get the wall as close to the seat as possible. Let's say that's close enough.
Imagine when you drop your phone here. Because you're gonna do that.
It'll be fine. I'm just getting in the front seat and reach back. I'll be right back.
Perfect!
Alright, perfect. Okay. All the wood structure is in place, finally. We're saving this part here to build some frames for making the bed a little longer than the wall. So I'm gonna move on to the finishing off the cab divider. So for the part that's facing this way into the car, we're not gonna finish that today. But the part that faces the driver's seat, it's obviously not gonna be this ugly wood board. We're gonna cover it in something. So we found some nice camper van fabric from Vanbob.com. Great site, check that out if you haven't. Camper van conversion related stuff. Check this out. It's like nice and thick and should cover it up pretty nicely. And I'm gonna glue that on and then mount it, because if I'm trying to mount it first and then gluing the fabric on, obviously we're gonna have to remove the seats, and that seems like a lot of work, so we're gonna try to do it the other way around. Wish me luck. Ooh, it's like crocodile skin. Very nice. It's like kind of luxurious.
Success.
Perfect. Save that for later. Move this project out here instead. A little too tight in the car. So simply gonna glue this fabric onto the wood using some standard contact glue. It hardens in about 10 minutes, and then it should be a breeze. Just gonna start applying this and getting it to stick everywhere. It actually dries kind of quick, so a bit on it. And boom, we're done. Pretty much. Just gonna cut off the excess fabric, and our driver's cap is gonna look quite PIMP, if I may say so myself. All right, so doesn't look amazing at the moment. Still gonna have to cover that wood and sneak the fabric in between the plastic there and the wood, but it's gonna come out real nice.
No.
Hello.
Hello, what are you doing?
Just doing some final touches to the 12-volt wiring here before we're attaching the ceiling planks. Actually just using this glue gun to secure all the cables to the ceiling. Just in case you don't want these to be, well, a car is vibrating, right, when you're driving, and then down the road you might end up having one of these come loose, and then you'll hear it against the ceiling planks all the time. And also you run the risk of one of them coming undone, and if that happens we'll have to take the ceiling back down, and then it's a lot of extra work. So just doing a little bit of glue here and there, keep them in place. What did we do?
Nothing? No? It's all good. The planks are too long. Not our fault. And now we're cutting them.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Nice.
Let's cut the rest of them. So the ceiling is getting put in place. So what I'm doing here is that I'm pre-drilling these little pilot holes because the battens we're using in the ceiling are really thin, so don't want to run the risk of breaking them.
Use the big one. Beach.
Hi!
It's cooler.
Using the big one now because it's cooler.
And we are starting from the middle out because the air intake is going to be our reference point, so, and we want it straight.
It's pretty easy to forget that if you start from the side, since the car doesn't really have that many straight angles, especially not after putting the insulation in place, and with the battens being different lengths and everything, that if we do start on this side and it looks straight, and we'll end up on this side, and then that's when you're going to start noticing if you drift off, and then the whole ceiling will be really bad.
So we're starting from the middle.
Starting from the middle.
And now we're here.
Really trying to get these little rows of screws to be in a straight line too. If it's like anything you're really gonna look at a lot in your van, it's the ceiling. So.
And you can mount these with like hidden screws.
Yeah, you can go from here into the batten with like smaller screws and then hide those.
Or with nails, I think.
Yeah, with nails actually. Reason we don't use nails in the van is because, well, it's a van, so we're driving a lot, it's vibrating, and yeah, anything that's not screwed in place, I think over time will come out. Later on in this episode, or not in, later on in this series, we're gonna put in some really nice little LED dimmable spotlights from Dometic. We haven't got those yet, so we don't really know exactly how big they are, but since we've already wired all the 12-volt stuff in the ceiling, we're gonna make some holes in this plank, or in 2 planks, to pull the wires through and then deal with the exact dimensions later on. Okay. Here's a little trick. Obviously before we mount the rest of the ceiling, make sure that you get electricity in all these wires. So we're using a screwdriver battery here, and attaching the plus to plus and minus to minus, and then use a voltmeter and see if you get electricity in the wiring, and yes we do. So those are good. So try those over there. Yep. Yep. And in the back, get a reading.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice.
Let's keep on going.
Keep on going. Final one.
Last and final screw in our beautiful ceiling. Look at that! How awesome did that turn out? I'm so psyched on the way this ceiling looks. I can stand tall, but there's some room to spare, so that is great news. And I think that's gonna go so well with the white walls. What do you think?
No. Of course.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice.
Boom!
Boom bam!
Good job. Yeah.
Yeah. A bit of touch up.
Yeah.
here. But then it's done. Week 2.
Boom, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's been a challenging week. We've only gotten to work on this car for about 3 days out of 7 because of bad weather, and we got a little bit delayed, and we did a lot of mistakes this time.
I did.
Oh.
Jakob was fine.
But anyways, I'm stoked. We're definitely getting somewhere. It feels like we're making progress.
Ceiling is up. It's looking nice.
Yeah. How's that beautiful brown stain?
Mediterranean brown.
Mediterranean brown. We still haven't shown it's an insider joke. It was the paint or the stain's actually called Mediterranean brown. No one knows why. Yeah, the 12-volt wiring, all pretty much every little cable is in place. Now we just gotta put all the devices in there.
We think so.
Next episode.
Yep.
What
else?
Got the divider wall finally figured out, and
super happy about that.
Yeah, stoked
one.
about that fabric. It's very nice.
Yes.
Do let us know if you see anything that we did completely wrong and that we have to redo before we keep building this van, or if you just want to tell us that we're good. Hit the comment section.
Yeah.
Share the video.
Get a van.
Hit subscribe. We want to remind you once again, this video is for educational. No, I want to remind you once again, this video is for inspirational, not educational purposes. We're no professionals. And yeah, see you next time.
See ya!